Hello, hello, it's spring again, 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 again. You know it's spring again. Come alive, come alive, come alive. Hello, hello, my sunflowers. Hello, my little munchkins. Hello, and my chickens. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, it's spring in the air. Excuse me.
Finally, Baby Crow has been waiting for this moment.
And you all know that I have allergies. Sinus, I do. So I have to drink all the time. Like I always have to drink something to keep me moist, or else I'll start coughing. So bear with me. But never to do, you know me, we eat, we do whatever we want, and we be as real as we want to be. What you think, Baby Crone?
Yes, that
Baby
is
Crone,
true.
you look so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
So let me ask you this.
Me.
Oh, thank you. Baby Crone, so what is it like being out for just vacation for a week? Other than not long enough.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Took the words right out my mouth. Yeah, other than that, just it's honestly just how I feel about the spring break. I guess I like that it's aligned with the coming of spring. I get to enjoy the beginning of spring at home and I have to work at least. I mean, or go to school. That tells you how much it feels like going to school.
How I feel like work.
Yes.
Well, there you have it. Now let's see. What are we going to talk about today? What are we going to talk about? But before I talk about anything, if anybody happens to turn on this station or this channel or come into this vibe or you step into this frequency and you want a reading, today I feel really charged. It's a good day to call in for a reading. I don't want no rickety root. Just say, hey, da 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 da. I want a reading. I'm going to ask you what about, and you're going to tell me, and then that's what I'm going to pull cards on what you ask. One question. I'm putting this out there because it's always seen somebody calls in and baby on the phone, and it's not always your fault because sometimes the phones just don't work right. Why is that, baby phone?
I'm not sure.
It just doesn't work right.
Yeah.
The phones are working.
Yes, the phone is working.
So hopefully, we hope that they work, because it's not like a free service.
Yes, technology is technology. Comes with its ups and downs.
So the first thing that I want to talk about, I'm sorry. The first thing that I want to talk about, I really want to talk about Kim and Kanye. Okay, this, I've talked about them already, but since this is live and this is what we call, not news recap, what was the new name we gave it?
Intuitive news.
Intuitive news. In other words, we're giving you our spiritual, we tell you the news, but our commentary is going to come more from a metaphysical realm. Okay, a spiritual realm, another way to look at something. And this is why I think has hurt us in some way, Baby Cone, because there are some people who just don't like what we say. Now, I can't speak for Baby Cone because Baby Cone do her own thing, but I can speak for myself and I can speak for Baby Cone when she is with me. I am very, very mindful to what I say. It is never my intentions to hurt anyone's feelings. Sure. However, if you ask me for a reading, do you want me to lie or do you want me to spare your feelings? Tell me that up front. I'll start asking.
True, fair enough, fair enough.
Now, you may say, well, if I say spare my feelings, you're going to get a cheap. No, you won't get a cheap read. I promise you. It'll be exactly what you wanted. It'll be watered down and just fed through you in such a way that you will walk out feeling like, I knew it. I knew it. Everybody else said it. I knew it. You're going to walk out feeling like that. But if it was me giving you a straight read, you're going to walk out feeling like two ways. I like that. That's truth. Or I don't know. I think something wrong with her. I don't like what she said to me. She don't know me. Either way, I've been doing it that long. But for me, when I go to a reader, I always want them to say something bad to me. I want them to tell me something that's going to make me, they never do. What about you, Baby Chrome?
when I get readings from you.
Yeah,
You're
well,
the only person
yeah,
I get a
yeah,
tarot reading
right.
from.
Yeah, if well me, because you get a few from me. So
Yeah. No, they definitely are always spot on and hit close to home.
right. So I don't even know bad readings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So the only bad reading I can see if someone is telling you something that you don't agree with
That's true.
or something you don't want to accept.
One or the other.
Or maybe what the reader is saying. Now, this is where it's going to get tricky because maybe what the reader said is true, but you believe that the reader is wrong, right?
Okay.
The reader's saying something you know about, but she's saying it wrong. It's in your mind, it's wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's saying something that is right, but she's saying it all wrong. But she's the reader. So because she's saying it all wrong, you feel like she don't know what she's talking about. But listen to this. If the reader is telling you something and she's telling you something that it's no way she could know and it sounds all wrong, maybe you should consider what the reader is saying. You may say she's got the pictures and then she may have all of that. That's the way she sees it or he sees it. But you have to just trust the reader. Mm-hmm. If the reader tell you go off a roof and jump off the bridge, you wouldn't listen to that. Give me my money back. If a reader have you to do anything that's harmful, that's not a reader. That's like going to the doctor. And he deliberately described you wrong medicine. There is deep karma price to pay for this. Mm-hmm. This is why so many readers, they start out in this and they do good. They write cards, they read, and all of a sudden they say they get a call from the high above and they leave all of this behind and leave it. Because they understand it's time for them to learn. And when they learn, many of the readers, they leave and then they look back and then they talk negative. Like they may say, that is not of God. That is of the devil. But anyone that has had a psychedelic trip, anyone or ayahuasca, or had a good high off of some marijuana, which is there to open up your psyche. But like all drugs, it get misused and mistreated and named wrong. There's so many drugs that is good for you to take you in these places. And there are people that are just born with these gifts. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to believe it. You just have to look at the proof. Like, how they know that? How they know? Have you ever been to the church on Sunday and you go in and the preacher preaching and it seemed like you told him your business and he's preaching, you're preaching up in there? But yet you don't even know the man like that or the woman. Mm-hmm. It's like that. You have to learn to listen. You eat the meat and spit out the bones. And you have to be mature to do that. So I just wanted to go on. I don't know why I had a sense to defend readers, because I think true readers get a bad rap. I do. And those that leave, did they really leave? How can you leave who you are? Right. That's a gift. That's what a gift. That's if that person is real, they're gonna still have a gift. You know, that ain't going nowhere. And if you're not in a fellowship with people that like that, you'll still feel like an outcast. And then again, in another several years, you'll find yourself running again. It is what it is. What do you think, baby Clone? Yeah. Now, with that being said, I went off on a tangent. This is me going live, and I just like to know, baby Clone, I like to know what people calling, and I like to be able to see all that goofy stuff. You know, I like to see if anybody's in. Anybody listening?
We have 2 viewers.
Okay. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look, if you have any questions at all, please call in. So I'm just going to give gobbledygook. And if you have something to say, by all means, say it. Now, this is what I'm going to talk about now. And that is Kimberly and Cayenne. Yee. Oh, she wants the judge to take away visitation rights.
Yeah.
That's what she wants. This is allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, well, I don't have a question. My opinion, and tell me what you all's opinion is.
Yes.
You had these 4 children, 2 surrogate and 2 natural.
Yeah.
Now you, because it's years later, y'all can't get along. You want to stop visitation rights because of his antics? See, that's so stupid to me. Why? This is curious. They are fighting so much not to scar their children.
Yes. The irony.
And all they are doing is marking on them like they're dirty rags. Mm-hmm. Every argument they have, their spirit feel it. Every lie they tell, they feel it. Every neglect, they can't articulate it because this is energy. Remember, we're an esoteric station. Mm-hmm. This is energy. And in the energy field, we just like old blobs just floating around, bumping into each other. We can't imagine that because we're in our simulation. We're in an altered universe. You're sharing my experience and I'm sharing yours. I don't understand the mechanism of how all this works, but I know enough. But let me get back to the Kimberlys. So they are fighting so hard, over the stuff that don't matter, but they are still married when it come down to them kids. Right. They should be one mind when it come down to these children of theirs. So all this fighting, all this neglect that they both do, all the sneaking around, talk, they say, oh, the children are already scarred. How can they not be when their energy, they hear it, they see it, they're around it. That's their mother who's got a reputation for doing anything for the clout. Mm-hmm. Even laying with robots, I really don't care. But it's an oxymoron in a sense, because even though I know it's 2 children, it's 1 adult and 1 child. 1 adult is saying, you know what, I really don't care what the world says. I'm going to do this for Elon Musk. Not that I really care. I'm going to do this, but knowing that it's going to piss off a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people. But you do it anyway. You don't care about your children. You don't care about what they think, but you do it anyway. Mm-hmm. But now Kanye, he takes a song and he's going to have his daughter rap. Not a good thing to do. Not a good thing to do when you know a lot of people is not for this. Don't do this. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. There's so much alike. And so now it's like, I need him to stop. I need him to stop. He's putting my children in danger. Stop. I don't want him doing this. But what about her?
Mm-hmm, exactly. What about her?
What about her, though? I can't be the only one who think this way. Well, I'm not really trying to say I think this way. This comes to me as a truth. Mm-hmm. Like it's the way we look at things.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And I think we look at North as an 11-year-old, and indeed she is, but she's got the mindset of a 16, 17-year-old girl because she has been exposed to things that you and I could never be.
That's true.
At the age of 8, she's telling people off.
That's true.
At the age of 10 or 9, she's telling her mother, that just looked like something you got from the seashore, you know? Mm-hmm.
It made the stylist feel insulted.
You know, and that's energy. That's her daddy. That's his firstborn.
Yes.
She carrying his legacy. She's hard. She's masculine. She's masculine. You know, she can wind up being a lesbian,
Yeah.
a feminine lesbian,
Mm-hmm.
or not.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's
She could
right
be like
now.
the brat.
Huh?
She could be like the brat.
She could be like the brat, or she could be like Judy,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or like Judy. Mm-hmm.
or she could be like Monet. What's her name? Monet. That's always doing art.
Oh.
And Monet, you know who she is.
Jeanette Monet.
Yes. But I do see something with her gender.
Yeah.
I see that. I don't know if you all see it. I've been talking about it. Yes, she is female, and that is nothing she could do about that. And speaking of that, a lot of people have a problem with, you know, that they changed their whole thing, and now they want them to show on their birth certificate what gender were you born. What gender were you born? Well, if you was born an hermaphrodite, then that's what I was a hermaphrodite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't say I was born heterosexual. I was just born a male, period. That's just my sex, my gender.
Mm-hmm.
I was born male. I was born female. I was born a hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I was born with no gender at all. You got people out there that's
even no gender.
No gender.
Either both, one, or none.
Both, one or the other, or none. I don't know. You got a lot of stuff going on in the world. There's a lot of creepy things that's out there in the world.
That's
you
how
know,
nature goes.
And it's nature, because nature has fallen. Why? Because it's so depleted. We don't follow the rules and the regulations by letting the earth rust for so many years. We don't follow none of that. Because people are hungry and people want to eat, and people want to eat what they want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't have to go out and kill a deer or kill a buffalo or a pig or a horse or what? Oh, a horse. Ooh, oh no. I'm missing an animal, a cow.
Did you mention a chicken?
Yeah, or a chicken. You know, we don't have to do a turkey, because we can go to the market and do it for us and store that meat for us and prepare it. But once upon a time, we had to hunt and eat. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go back to them days.
Yeah, or those countries that do it just for the culture's sake.
I don't mind that. That's cool. I be loving it. I like that. I want to hold on to some of the old ways.
Yeah, it's ethnic, but it's a little bit too raw for me, and just seeing the animal that I'm about to eat slaughtered in front of me.
But look at it from another viewpoint.
Okay.
If you look at it from a viewpoint that you took a life to eat, then you will feel, because you could feel the warmth. You knew it was alive. That means every bite you take, it would be precious to you. That means you won't sit there and just overly indulge that animal. When it is cooked, you're going to have to get used to the freshness of the taste, because we get the food from the market that done sat there for a week and months, who knows? And then they put it out and make it look all fresh and new. We know the deal. And that's why so much food poison go around. So, and so they make it look that way. But here you done slaughtered it, gutted it, picked its feathers, chopped its head off, drained its blood, washed it, seasoned it. Oh, come on here. And now it's time to eat. You done put potatoes and string beans and broccoli.
Put your life in that.
Carrots just steamed all around it.
You know,
that sounds good. On the side, you have some buttered croissants. No, let's make this right. And then on the other side, you know, there has got to be a bowl of soup. because we already have vegetables, so we don't need a salad. So we have soup. So let's say we have one of our favorite soups, and that would be, for me, the wedding soup.
Yes.
Made homemade. Not like the store, but homemade wedding soup. And you can make it chunky with the meat. Don't that sound delicious?
Yes. You're just reminding me how I thought I was hungry and I'm getting hungry again.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. But my point is, and now you got to eat. But all of this food, you dug up from the ground.
That's true.
All this food, you cultivated it.
That's true.
All this food, you prayed every harvest that it will bring forth. This whole meal came from your backyard. This whole meal. And you can only eat like this once a week. Maybe twice if you're lucky. At least with the meat portion.
Mm-hmm.
So the meat was like precious. Now imagine you're sitting down and you're eating that. Do you think you're just going to glob that food like we like? And you could be hungry. You're going to savor it because you got to get the taste of the freshness of its being killed. How his heart stopped beating. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Can you imagine that? Oh, you think I'm being dramatic? I'm being dramatic.
No, you just painting the scene.
Is it touching you? Is it moving you in any capacity?
Yeah.
Am I speaking truth?
Yeah.
And you might say, well, what does this do with Kim and Kanye? Well, everything.
That, and one time Kanye did have a party where they was eating off of humans, weirdly enough. So
sushi off of a human body.
Symbolizing that cannibalism.
That would never be safe to me because of her temperature. That would never be safe for me to eat. So, I mean, I can say to you, I don't like sushi, but I'm certainly not going to eat fish off of anyone's body or sushi. It just sounds ooshy. So, you know what I mean?
Yes,
I mean, because she's laying there, her temperature has to be a 98.6 or 98.2, which would be considered normal. Yeah. But that's a high heat, right? Yeah. If it was 98.2 outside, we'd be like, woo!
Yes, it's just a few degrees away from being able to boil water. So
let's look at it another way. 98.6 that's our blood, right? Mm-hmm. And a nice summer day, that water could feel nice and warm. You jump in and you be like, woo! That lets you know how hot we ought to be. Am I missing it, baby Cone? Help me.
Not.
I don't want to say something. You got to come out and get me.
No, that is true.
All right.
We do generate warmth.
When it's freezing.
Yes.
They say get warm, rub up against one another.
Make sure you huddle in a position.
Huddle. Breathe on me.
Yes, breathe on me.
But my point is, back to the Kim and Kanye.
Yes.
When you think of all of that, this is what they did. He gave life because sperm have life. Mm-hmm. He shot that sperm up in her and it fertilized her egg. In other words, it was like the prince that kissed Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. She was just laying there, bored, just bored out of her mind, just laying there. And then all of a sudden, those sperms by the groves was rushing. They all got a chest to hit in there. They didn't swim for nothing. Those that died along the way were old, but those, they all hit her. It wasn't the fact, I don't think you understand that. It wasn't the fact that they didn't all hit her. It was the first one who hit first. That's the relay of the word. The word. So that meant you and me, we hit first. That meant we wanted to be here. Out of thousands, we wanted to be here. If we could look at things like this. So let me tell you another way I look at something. And this is all with Kim and Kanye in my mind. Work with me.
Mm-hmm. And their child.
And this is definitely about their children. So all the sperm hit. And for that moment, For that moment, that egg is an ecstasy. She has come alive. She's like that sperm. When the thing is the most physical feeling that you can have that's beautiful
Okay.
is an orgasm, a real climactic orgasm. I think that was made in us to let us know that there is a place that is beyond this, that is blissful. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, many people have gotten addicted and all this. But back to what I'm saying. Now, what I believe that when the woman gets pregnant, when she gets pregnant, this is why it's important that we have children by men that want them. We shouldn't have babies because I want them. It's a precious act. And I think this is why so much pain and sorrow. I believe that this is what it used to be like, or what it was like when a woman had sex or had a baby with her companion.
Okay.
She would somehow go into some fit of meditation.
Okay.
You could see it spiritually, that her spirit rises above her flesh. Even though they connected, her body is bearing down, giving birth. For whatever pain, she's elevated from it. She feels nothing. She's in you could take her pressure. She's not in pain, but she's elevated while the body is severed. I don't know if there's an animal that you cut off his tail, it could still live.
I
know it's something out there.
And starfish, I know, can regenerate body parts.
So I'm just saying, so for whatever reason, even a snake can shed its skin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, for whatever reason, there become a buffer zone that the moment she feels any discomfort, any at all, her body automatically it separates itself until the baby has delivered. Now, when the baby has been delivered, she's not to feel none of that. She don't feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
When she comes back into her full body, she would feel everything like I would feel. She would feel the pressure. She won't feel the pressure because she experienced it. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
She experienced it on a spiritual level. You understand? So giving birth was at climactic. It was climactic. It was a climactic moment. So she don't mind giving birth and having children because it's no pain. Not like that. Not because she was able to separate. Mm-hmm. And somehow, some way, because I think as men do, as women do, we're curious creatures. When the men, I truly believe that when the men saw that the women could do that, they saw it. It was amazing. It was a sight to behold. You know? Mm-hmm. And men knowing that they could do that, I think many men became mesmerized with women. Okay. And I believe, this is all spiritual talk, and I believe so much so they glorified the woman. And so much so that they had to put Virgo, the Virgin, mm-hmm. with childbirth, because they were so blown away, the mystery of it. Many men wanted to experience it.
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying? Many men wanted to experience it. Many men wanted to be a part of it. And I know this may sound crazy, but I'm only speaking in an esoteric way. It could be, this is why we have so many men that are homosexuals. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they glorified. Remember I said they glorified the woman. Now, maybe you don't understand what glorified is. Baby, come look up the word glorified. Glorified is when you entranced with something, you worship it. I'm going somewhere with this. This is all esoteric talk. This is not nothing to put nobody down. It's just that this is what my ancestor speaks to me. What does glorified mean? Admiration. Go ahead.
Especially of something or someone ordinary.
Wait a minute. Something or someone
Mm-hmm.
extraordinary,
No, ordinary
ordinary, okay,
or unexceptional, represented in such a way
listen,
as to appear more elevated or special.
come on now,
Mm-hmm.
tell me you see it.
Yeah, second definition, in religious context,
Come on,
made
glorify.
glorious.
Now, when you see something so glorious, you want to become it. You want to be like it. Do you understand? Because they glorified. What does it mean to be like? To become. You like when you go to church, you glorify God. You glorify Jesus. You glorify the Virgin Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Glorify Buddha. Glorify whatever your faith is. So you glorified. And so much so, I want to be like Jesus. I want to be like God. I want to be like, not because you want to be like them, because I want to do evil in the world, but because I want to be like them because they are so magnificent. And so the men, this is how it was told to me from my ancestors. So who are deceased. So to me, the men begin to glorify this. This is many hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years ago. And they begin to glorify. And because so men started putting on makeup and wearing lipstick and turning their desires to other men. There were other things that was involved too. But you got to understand, even today, most of the world is religious with spiritual practices. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you come from here to Egypt. There is religion dominate. Man needs something to worship outside of himself. Mm-hmm. Born to worship. I know that's crazy. And it may be like, I don't know. I know just another way to look at it. Mm-hmm. Just another way. And all of this is what I'm saying back to Kim and Kanye. Two people who loved each other, mm-hmm. who laughed together, cried together, made love, endless love together, had babies together, had the experience of that black cat is back, hold on, who had the experience of surrogacy together, mm-hmm. traveled together. I'm like Patti LaBelle. How is it that they've end up so far apart? It's like, and you don't think those children that was born out of that, they don't feel that? You can't hide it. It's palpable. It's spirit. Spirit does work even when you're not looking. And there is positive energy and negative energy. Because if we didn't have the positive and the negative, we wouldn't balance ourselves. And with Kim and Kanye, they both air. Mm-hmm. They both two of a kind. She's just on the vanity. Yes. He's a narcissist. He thinks he can't be touched. She thinks she won't be touched. You see what I'm saying? She does the things she do. Okay, this is Kimberly. This is all the way back to the water when they had the fire. Yes. They still had green grass. Grew all around and around and around. Untouchable. Just think of the mindset. Mm-hmm. So even now we get down to the little kid. It's like, now I'm going to go and make sure you don't get to see your children. Has she lost her mind? Yes. What? I don't even know if I'm conveying my messages, because I hope you get what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. They're both doing wicked things to each other. Neither one of them care about the children, because if they did, that would be the last thing she would do, is stop her children from seeing their daddy. Exactly. That would be absolutely asinine. We had them together. Why do I want to carry the burden of it all by myself for 18 years? No child support. 18 years when they sick, 18 years, and sometimes 20, 21. 25 when they ready? And you mean to tell me I'm going to be that stubborn and not allow? We need to regroup. We are angry. And the next time that I hear someone say this, if I hear someone say this, I will forgive you, but I won't forget, because that's just them, these two.
Yeah, that's
Kim
the
and
whole
Kanye.
sentiment, the whole vibe.
I can forgive you, but I won't forget. My question to you is, forgiving is forgetting. I don't need to hold on to you. You're a bad memory. Get away from me. I want to be delivered. But what if it happens again? It won't happen again. How you know? Because I'm not the same person. That's how I know. I don't need to hold on to that. It damaged me. I got a wound. I could say this right here is where, this right here. I'll never forget the injury. Please understand, this is spirit. Mm-hmm. This is spirit talk. So I won't forget the injury, right? Because I can see it. I can feel it. I walk with a limp now. I suffer with my stomach. I have bowel problems. I have headaches. It left me. It scarred me in some way. Mm-hmm. That's where I picked up the habit of overeating or undereating, whatever. You hear me? I don't have to remind myself because I've already been scarred by it. So I could just let it go. I want to forget about it. I don't want to remember it. Why? So I can get healed. I want to be healed. Don't you? So when you hear anybody say, I forgive you, but I won't forget, they missed the mark. Wouldn't it be beautiful if somebody can come along and erase every bad thing from your mind, every wicked, every pain, every sorrow? If somebody can come and erase that, eradicate it, what kind of person would you be? And leave you with only good thoughts and the thoughts you should have had. How would you be? Am I making sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm saying they miss it. And you think that your children, because you fought in the dark and they were sleeping, or you was in London and they were in Maryland, and y'all had a disagreement because they were asleep and it was 3:00 in the morning, they didn't feel that. Come on now, you know we operate on frequencies. You know these bodies are our avatar. Our fivefold ministry is in us. What do you mean? To be able to hear, to be able to see, to be able to smell, to be able to taste, and to be able to touch. And if you grow and understand those, how to operate those things seriously, then you can ask for the sixth sense. That's where it gets tricky. Because you can't get, many people have the sixth sense, but they don't know what it is because they haven't learned they don't know their five senses. So I'm making sense, baby Clump. Mm-hmm. And we see it in operation all around us. Here's another story, putting Kim and Kanye and their chaoticness to the side. Here's another story that I want to be. And you know what? I'm just freelancing. If you got anything to say and you don't agree, that's cool. I'm not mad with that. But this is fresh and this has been brewing on me. So that's why I had to go live. And I said I'm going to make news out of it, but it's going to do what it do because I'm live and I can't cut it. And this is what it is. So here we go with Kylie Jenner. Mm-hmm. Here's another one. Same family. Yeah. Kylie Jenner and Timothy Chalamet. What's his name, baby? Chalamet. Go ahead, tell the story.
Yes.
If you haven't heard.
Yes.
Allegedly,
yes. Rumor on the curb is Timothy is out shopping for a ring.
Come on, don't come on now. Tell the truth.
No, that is for real. That he was out there shopping for a ring.
An engagement ring. Yeah. Come on, call it by name.
Mm-hmm. And his family is in disapproval of him, saying that she is not the one for him. And they just really do not think that he should be thinking about marrying Kylie Jenner.
Okay.
Say anything?
Now, this is, let me, because I already know what to say. But my thing is, everybody have difference, but we just looking at morals.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at, what is it? Ethics. We're looking at ethics right now. And when I'm looking at ethics, I want you to step away from what your opinion. I want you to step away from your opinion. And I want you to look at, this is your son or this is your brother. Mm-hmm. Timothy is your brother. He's your brother. Okay? And now he wants to, so I already read that this would be a problem.
You did.
I already knew.
You really
because did. Would you want him to marry the Jenners? Now let's talk about it. We know that everything, you may not like what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. It is no offense to them. They could get mad all they want, but I'm speaking facts. Yeah. You're looking at DNA right now. That's DNA, whatever's in their bloodline. Mm-hmm. Bloodline. What'd she say? At the front line.
Yes. Get loose.
Get loose. Get loose. And I'm saying to you, here we're looking at blood, DNA. Do you know how your children's teeth turn out? It's in the DNA. Mm-hmm. Whatever mental ailment, it can fall down in the DNA. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So you want this, her father who transaction over to a woman. You're taking a risk with that falling on you because it's in the DNA. You're taking a risk that they said, well, homosexuality run in their family. This is even with Kendall, we hear the words.
Yeah, we do.
And sometimes I question Chloe.
Fair enough, as hurt as she is.
Sometimes I do, her and Malik. I do. No offense, that's their business. Everything I say is allegedly. But my point is that we don't know what they do. That's their personal business. But the point is that is in the DNA. First of all, you got to ask yourself, is that okay with me? Mm-hmm. Is that okay with me? Being hot-natured.
Yes.
Having to have sex.
Especially.
Is that okay with me? Mm-hmm. Especially when you're looking at Kimberly. That's their bloodline. You're looking at what I can't. It's so many things. Anger, cheating. These are a bunch of women that power is in the sex with them.
Yes, most definitely.
And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you could be that woman.
Yeah, sex magic.
I don't think they do it maybe deliberately. Maybe they do. I don't know. I'm not
all
trying.
In their energy.
It's just in their aura. It's who they are. Mm-hmm. They sex, and they are attracted to dark meat. Yeah. All of them.
All of them.
All of them. I was going to say Kendall.
Oh, yeah, Kendall, most definitely. Courtney.
But Courtney isn't.
Courtney, I think, is the only one.
Courtney. And she may have, but she may prefer the lighters of it. I wouldn't have thought that about Kendall, but she was with A$AP Rocky. Mm-hmm. But she is with Devin now. What's his name?
Devin.
I'm going to read on them anyway. Mm-hmm. So she's with Devin now. So that shows me that even though she's with Devin, she liked the lighter ones. Yeah. I'm just saying. So I wouldn't want her to marry my son. First of all, it's imbalance. Mm-hmm. He don't even have no kids. Yeah. She got famous, no judgment, but this is facts. She got famous off of her sister affair with Ray J.
Yep. Politest way to put it.
They make their money off of their beauty.
They do.
What talent do they give? What should happen if we go into a recession or something happen? What good are they to me?
Fair enough.
When you pick a wife or a wife pick a husband.
Mhm.
Think about these things.
Yeah.
Do bad teeth run in my family? Do bad teeth. In other words, they suffer with dental problems, sickle cell anemia, leukemia, cancer. All of it.
Mhm.
Not just the spiritual diseases, mental ailment.
Yeah.
She suffered with anxiety.
Mhm.
She had panic attacks.
Yes.
And now you got your son, and here this woman has been turned out by older men.
Yes.
I'm not judging. I'm saying she's way too mature for him.
Yes. As you say, unequally yoked.
They're unequally yoked. Why? Because of their lifestyles. He's enamored. He's got to take care of 2 black kids. And not only that, he's got to deal with the father.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I don't know. That's how I feel. You say something. I'm going to take a break.
When it comes to well, at least the family is speaking out and sharing their viewpoint and what is going on in this situation. Also, as you had said earlier when we talked about this, that if you was in Kylie's position and your partner that you're getting that might want to be thinking about proposing, or you guys have these conversations about marriage in the future, and you know that his family is already out there saying, please do not marry this woman.
I wouldn't do it. And another thing, excuse me, baby Clone, she has 2 mixed kids. I don't know if I want my child born being of a pure white race. It may start problem. We still got this racial stuff going on in this country.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I don't know is it me?
No.
I just think that we just forgot the sacredness in having a baby. It's
Yes.
supposed to have been a beautiful thing. You don't just turn in your 22, 23 or say, I want to have a baby. I'm rich and I can take care of it.
That's exactly how she felt.
With no thought. And you think those babies not scarred? Every time that meant there was a separation. No, they may not feel it in the natural, but they feel it in the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
This is why it's imperative. Is that the word? It's for them to work it out. So the children imperative, so they can work it out. So the children never feel the split. Mm-hmm. So they never feel bust. So they never like Humpty Dumpty. They don't feel like an egg. And I'm telling you, they all feel that. Mm-hmm. There was just a rumor out that, and I don't know if it's a rumor, it could be, that Courtney's son had a woman pregnant, a girl pregnant.
Yeah, that was a rumor out there.
Just a few weeks ago. Now, the point is that true? According to her son and how her son is, I would not put nothing past him.
Exactly.
Now, is it true? Is it true? Is it true? Is it not true? Is it relevant? Mm-hmm. But it had enough legs that when it was out there, no one was shocked.
No.
Because he like his daddy. He his daddy's firstborn. Right?
Yeah.
And the way and poor, look at Alabama. See, they get scarred.
Yeah.
What about Alabama? Look at her.
Mm-hmm.
Another sad case. Look at the woman what's her name? Baby Boo? What's her name?
Bad Baby.
Look at that sight. Look at that sight of a horror. Mm-hmm. 2 of them. Because the kids are affected. No matter how much money you have, the only thing that could survive these children is a cohesive bonding that whatever we do, they don't feel it. But you can't have it because you got selfish people that give birth. And if you selfish, then you give birth to selfish. It's in your DNA. I don't know how else to say it. I'm hard. Talk to them.
Yeah, just talking about how it's just a ongoing, never-ending list of apparently women misusing their children for the sake of the fact that they don't like the baby daddy.
And this is the kicker. This is the kicker. This is the kicker. Like this is they so proud when they say, "That's my baby. We don't need you. It took two to make it."
Yes.
Oh, my people. Oh, my people. If you only could see, we have been under an illusion. It's so sad when you could see from a mountaintop.
Yes.
Because everything else is so spread out that you can give it your individual attention.
Mm-hmm.
And because we are women, we have become so masculine.
Yes.
And we have become so complacent because many of us had to work. Many of us had to take on the role as mommy. Many of us had to take care of our own parents at young ages or our own siblings. I am so sorry. But the day is coming where you have to start finding your femininity. Because now we find men that are more feminine than women.
Yes.
And they are confused. Why can't I do the Olympics? What, they could never know. They could never know what it's like to have a menstruation.
Mm-hmm.
They could never know what it's like to have cramps. What it's like to be bloated.
True. Oh, they do want to know.
Irritable. Cravings. Swelling. They don't have an idea. Crankiness. They come with this every month.
Mm-hmm.
Discomfort. And I don't know if any of you had them or had them, but I used to. Cramps up the butthole. That you be like, oop, and they hit there, you be like, oh Lord, I hope this goes so I can get up out the chair. I don't know, because they don't know. It becomes hurtful in a sense, as if being a woman is so easy. Yes. Because they saw a woman elevate herself. This is the way it was supposed to be able to, that when you did have your menses, you separated yourself. You was able to rise up above the cramp. All of this was supposed to be easy. It was supposed to be glorious. In other words, just like the earth yields seeds. You plant it, it yields. You plant it, what you get is depending on what soil you plant it on. You plant it on good soil, it's going to give an abundant. And what is the best soil than a virgin soil? This is why they always make her a virgin. But she already have a son. Because if she is a virgin, she should be pregnant. She shouldn't be holding a baby, because if she's holding a baby, she's no longer a virgin. True. That's deep, right?
Yes, unless is this virgin nurturing and nursing somebody else's child?
We're only talking about our own. That's what I'm saying. Okay. People always got to go over there and never told you. And they got to go all the way, we weren't even over there. But this is what people do. Mm-hmm. But if you stay focused and live in your present, because if you keep looking back, you're just going to turn into a pillar. What do you mean? Bitter, salty, resentful, angry. Sometimes we just have to let things go so we can move on. And I know when people tell you, I'll forgive you, but I won't forget. The very fact you said that you have not forgiven me. Why? Because you're holding on. Let it go so you can heal. Mm-hmm. And I see with Charlamagne, they do what they want to do. If they were to tie the knot, I hope that they would make it. Yeah. But it would be so unfair. Say why? Why? Because why is it fair for them, because they're rich, that they can go against the grain and make it, but somebody poor do what they can't? That's imbalance to me. Do that make sense? Mm-hmm. So for me, we're looking at it. They're in balance. Here's another one. I heard that Zendaya,
Yes,
And
Zendaya. And her,
Zendaya,
yes, and her older sis. Wait,
no,
older.
her boyfriend. I'm talking about her boyfriend now.
Oh, Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. They are an unlikely couple, right? But neither one of them have children.
Yep, that's true.
I don't think either one of them ever been married.
Nope.
See what's happening? So they get to experience it together. So what you have Kylie doing with Timothy, he's experiencing something they ought to experience together.
Yeah.
She ain't beyond baby making years. It would have been different if she was 45 years old. She's got a life of a 40-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Do it make sense? So no, I don't want that. So what about a woman that married a man and he's way older? If he don't have no children, he's never been married. They got things in common. They can have a shot at it. But how is this going to work when your house already start off divided? Does that mean that she can't have no more children? No, but she would be better off if, this is an opinion, if she married someone in like manner who maybe had a child.
Okay, true.
You know, so if they decide they want to have a child, they can enjoy it with both of them because it's truly a love baby. It's not imbalance. I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah.
And I know that many people don't think this way, but just according to the Kimberly story, how sad.
Yes.
And you think your children not going to be suffered? They're not going to suffer for this? It's always going to be one that's going to be a daredevil. It's always one that's going to be mouthy and go against the grain. It's always going to be one that's going to be smart and the educated fool one.
Sure. And
it's always going to be one that's laid back and stick close to home and be what mommy and daddy want you to be. It's always going to be that when you have more than one sibling.
Yeah, all the different possibilities got to play in.
All the difference, because that DNA is this. So when you have a child, you should consider those things. Consider your shortcomings. How does cancer run in your family? And so a lot of these cultures, they be doing this stuff when their children are little kids.
Yes.
When they babies even. They on a cuckoo caca, they meet them. And that's the last time them two babies meet until the married day.
As
they don't know if they look alike, they just know they compatible. They got the right moon, they got the right sun, they got the DNA, am I right?
Yeah, that's true.
They not incest.
Nope, as archaic and old and outdated as it sounds. That is probably the most accurate way if you really did take this into consideration.
Absolutely. Sometimes you have kids and you be like, they got ADHD. What is it called?
Yeah, ADHD.
ADHD, and you got a child flying around thinking they're a flying monkey because of their father.
Yep. Or you guys, when you came together, had too much energy between y'all.
Or leading me to another sad case. I got to bring it up. And this is I got to talk about it because I got an issue with it. I hope I'm using stories that can parallel to what I'm saying. This is probably my last story. My last story is, I'm going to talk about it. Now, you might get offended, but we got to talk about it. Kanye had a note, and on his Instagram or whatever it's called.
It was actually on X.
It was on X. And on X, he called Beyonce children, her kids.
Yes.
It was what, an R.
Yes. I guess the polite way to say
Let me say it.
Okay.
Once upon a time, when children were lame or children had mental or anything, they called them mentally retarded. That was the name. It was not offensive to say somebody was retarded.
Right, true. At one point, it wasn't offensive.
It was not offensive. You understand? That was it. But then they changed it and they said, you can't say that. You know, so now I remember a time when babies would have mental problems, they used to call them waterheads. You may not heard these things, but they're waterheads. That's why their mental is off. But now they found names: autism,
Yep, they have.
special
Yes,
needs,
a name for everything.
ADHD. You better be able to speak in no anagrams because they get you.
OCD.
OCD, they got names for it. Back in those days, they didn't have no names. But we knew that when they said retardation, that meant that was some kind of affliction that showed physically. It maybe in the way the baby walk, maybe in the way the baby move, or whatever. But I was thinking about this, and so everyone is so angry at Kanye. It's like, how could he? How could he? How could he do this? We were doing it all along. How many bloggers talked about a child? Mm-hmm. How many people said that, you know what, how many rumors went up there the baby has special needs? Why Beyonce don't talk about it? Why this was out there? But because he come along and label it an offensive name, now we want to blame it on him when we was doing this all along. Tell me I'm missing something.
No, it's just when Kanye does it, it's a problem.
But we were doing it. Mm-hmm. People wanted to know, why is it that Beyonce won't just come out and say it?
Right.
Why don't you just come out and say, through pregnancy, to put even Kate Middleton had to eventually come out and say, I have cancer. Mm-hmm. Am I right?
Yep, she did.
Sometimes you just got to come out and say stuff. Mm-hmm. And sometimes to put the rumors to rest, sometimes you just come out and said she could come out and say, yes, my son has special needs.
Of course, not the great Beyonce.
Because absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. Uh-huh. So it's like, but we could say it, but the moment he give it a name and call it retarded, and mind you, it didn't come until after he has had that conversation with Diddy, yes. And maybe Diddy told him. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but because I don't know, I could speculate. Everything I say is allegedly.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like probably people also feel as though Kanye should not be talking about other people's kids when he is supposedly in the wrong for having North on that track. So I just think they just felt like Kanye was not in the right place to be talking about someone.
First of all, I don't think Kanye should put his 11-year-old daughter, 12-year-old daughter, 13-year-old daughter, 14-year-old daughter, 15-year-old daughter, 16-year-old daughter, 17-year-old on your own.
Fair enough. You're close enough.
17. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you what to do anyway, because you're going to do what you want to do anyway. Yeah. You can run away from home. I can come get you, but you're going to keep doing wearing me out.
Yeah, you pre-18 at that point.
Ain't nothing I could do. You're almost closer to 18 than you are 16. I got to ease up. You're going to do what you want to do. You're going to hook school. You're going to do your mind made up. All I can do is hope I set you in the right direction. But back to this. So now he says that name and they scratch it out in red, what makes you see the R-E-T, you know. And so I see people are angry. Yes. And I'm like, why? When you've already talked about it.
Yes, we have.
This has been in the news. Everybody said it. But because he said that word, like, nigga. You know, we can't, that's what it feels like. Exactly. And until we understand, stop giving that stuff play with him. It's like you're going to get mad or offended because he said the word. Yes. The word that was acceptable. It isn't now. How many words do we use that are not acceptable?
A lot.
Like damn, hell.
Yeah.
But we pick and choose. And this is not me standing up for Kanye, but I think that he's playing a masterful game of chess with us.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Because he already knows this is talked about.
That's true.
And I have not talked about her child. Mm-hmm. This is the first time I ever talked about it, but I said to Baby Cone, I think I need to do a reading to see if this child has special needs. Is this true?
Yes.
Just fortunately, it's coming up now. So why do I want to know? Because I feel like Beyonce is like a little sister to me. I don't know her. Sometimes I love her, sometimes I can't stand her, but she's my sister. She's a family. She's been in my heart. I don't know this woman from a bag of biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
But because of what she has revealed, I've seen how she changed over the years from being open to closed.
Mm-hmm.
I see the more she got tangled into the world of Jay-Z, the more she have dissolved. Yeah. Beyonce was out there. She used to talk to us. She used to share with us, tell us stories in her country south. We loved her. Even you don't remember?
No,
you was young.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, but she used to talk. Remember when she did that commercial? She put a love on top, and she did that at the Grand. Beyonce used to be a girl, but she been into the higher elites, and somebody told her to be quiet. And then when Wendy Williams, Wendy Williams, and being mean on Wendy, said to her she sounded like a 12 or 13-year-old, she just stopped talking.
Mm-hmm. Somebody made a funny comment.
Oh, go ahead, read it.
Well, it wasn't funny. It was relating to the fact that you talked about, Red Roses said waterheads, special needs, retardation. You're correct. This is the language we grew up with before everyone became politically correct. The worst part, I don't think Kanye meant it as an offense.
I think he did. Mm-hmm. Because he's playing chess. Right. Thank you for that. What do you mean? Because he already know how we think. Mm-hmm. If he say, you are not a slave, you didn't have to be a slave, you chose to be a slave. Yeah. They'll say, that's a lie, and I resent it. But at the end of the day, when they were on the Middle Passage, and they was coming across that water, many of them jumped off that boat. They would rather die. And going back, they would rather die and go back to Africa, not knowing where they were, but in the middle of the passage. Come on. Sometimes we are afraid to say, I'd rather die than be a slave. See, that's the mind of Harriet Tubman. But now I don't know if Harriet Tubman is a real story because they done told me a white woman wrote the story. Now I'm just messed up in my head. Old Black Moses. Now they saying that ain't even a real story. I'm like, what the hell? See, we living in times where there is so much truth coming out. And if you can't read and you can't do your basic math, you're going to be in trouble. Why? Because nobody is telling the truth. Mm-hmm. You have to dig and search and look and be careful to who you listen to. And a lot of commentators is just out for fun. Yes. They ain't out to educate you. Mm-mm. They're not out to give you some enlightenment. They just out to keep you entertained. Like Mr. Bojangles, he did dance. I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced. That's what they want. But when it's something deep to keep you woke in these perilous times, what do you mean? We have the government. The government is laying off. They gave the first group of people, if you lay off, we'll give you this. But if you choose to stay, we'll give you this. So many of them stay. I would give my opinion, but I'm going to stay clear from that because I got a feeling on that, but I'm going to stay clear on that. So many of them now are being forced out of their jobs because they're saying it isn't no money. So the people that chose to opt out are in a better position than those that chose to wait. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So even in this, you find a division. Even with the government, you find division in every arena of life. And as long as I can keep you distracted with Mr. Bojangles, she did dance. If I can keep you there, that means you ain't worrying about the war. No, you're not worried about if I can keep you distracted. You don't really care about what's going on in the government. Not really, because you don't work for the government. Maybe you're safe. But towers and ideas are being torn down. And you got half of the world says, I want it. And then that half of the world says, keep it the way it is. I don't want you to go in and start tearing it down, Trump. And why you at it, send that daggone, what's his name? Elon Musk back to South Africa. We ban his cars. We ban everything. We don't want him here. We want the whole establishment. And the only thing you can ask yourself, do you? Because if you do, you already picked a side.
Yeah.
If you want a new establishment, you already picked a side. Because it's just coming straight down the middle. What do you mean? Now, many of you may take this as an offense, but I'm thinking different. So I hope you understand where I'm coming from. There's some spiritual truth. Okay? This president said, I want my face, I'm laughing at this, at Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Okay, come on here. What does that mean to me? That means to me that this man said, I want to do something so extraordinary. I want to do something that's going to blow your wigs off. I want to do something that your caps will fall off and your toupees will fly back. Because that's the only way he going to get his face up on Mount Rushmore. Think about it.
Yeah.
Just think about it. And then I think, well, because I'm thinking, well, if he can go up on Mount Rushmore, well, Barack should go up there because he was the first real Black president. They told me no. But the people that are up there is Lincoln, Jefferson,
yes,
George Washington. Is that it?
I forget.
Thomas Jefferson. Did I say Thomas Jefferson? Thomas Jefferson, Lincoln, George and Roosevelt. And Roosevelt was from, I think was he from the 19th century, the early 19th century. And he had polio. He was crippled. See, this come on, let's talk about this. These people did miraculous things. What do you mean? George Washington, he was the first president. Yeah. Right? Abraham Lincoln, he was the one that set the treaty to set the slaves free. All the other gobbledygook is too deep to go into, but that's just what he did.
Yes.
All right. I don't know anything much about what was the wonderful, wonderful thing that George Washington did. Franklin Roosevelt. What did Franklin Roosevelt do? What did they do to because sometimes we get sidetracked when we be thinking, sometimes you just got to stay out this thing and stay neutral. Don't pick a side until you understand where they're coming from. And not what nobody told you, but what you're studying for yourself. Because these are the times you're going to have to study and know. Go ahead.
It says he played
Who is he?
George Washington.
Go ahead.
He played a key role in the drafting of the U.S. Constitution.
Okay.
Yes, and he's one of the founding fathers.
And so is Thomas Jefferson, right?
Let me see.
Thomas Jefferson was another. He was a part of the independence too.
Yes, he was also another founding father. He was the third.
What was so extraordinary about Roosevelt? What was so extraordinary about him?
And then Jefferson was the primary author for the Declaration of Independence.
These are the founding fathers. That's just like when you go to the White House, you just see all these old pictures that was painted. It's mesmerizing. You should go there and have them give you a tour. They ain't gonna take you but so far, but you get to see a little bit. But the best place to go to see stuff like this is to go to the what is it called? downtown. It's a art place. The Smithsonian Institute.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's it, but one of those. Go ahead. What?
Let's see. For Theodore Roosevelt, it says during his first 100 days as president, he spearheaded unprecedented federal legislation and directed the federal government during the Great Depression, implementing new naval. So he helped with the Army.
So what was it that he did? Just sum it up.
That during the Great Depression, he helped get America out of the Great Depression.
Great jobs. Because so when America was in a depression, it was horrible. People were jumping out of windows to their death. This was not beautiful times. And so here we hear it. We hear America's in trouble. America's in trouble. America is always fighting. We're always fighting for someone or about something. We are always in war. Our boys, our girls are fighting always. And it just seemed like to me, there is a time where you have to sit back and look at it all and see where we all playing in this.
Yes.
But I do think it's curious that they keep us docile with things. They put so much at you that, you used to could get a cable guide and you used to could follow whatever you want to look at, what movies, what time, all of this. Now it's so much, they don't even have a guide. You just looking at TV of something or something that pop up and you watch it because that's how much the information.
Mm-hmm.
And so you are living in a time where it's affecting homes. Like we talked about, I talked about many of relationships.
Yes, you have.
How they are affected and how all of it, everything of it has to do with frequency.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. And right now, we are in this frequency together. We are in the 25th year. That means from the beginning where man began to say man and right, that meant 2025 years of us being able to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Within the last 100 years, we were able to, or maybe less than then, was able to drive cars and boats. Well, we had boats, but planes.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have computers and robots. You just got to think, oh my God, in another 20 years, where we going to be?
Exactly.
Another 20 years. And time is moving so rapidly. And so we're just on a spinning top. And you spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning until you stop and make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Stop and make a difference in the world by decluttering your mind, by trying to get on a frequency of love and a frequency of forgiveness, a frequency of forgetting those things that don't serve me no good. By cleaning it up, because if we could renew our minds, everything around us will change. Sickness would have to flee. It has no place to rear its head.
Mm-hmm.
Disease can't stick around. But we're not going to be like that, are we? Wishful thinking. But one day, maybe it'll take another 2,500 years. And maybe you'll be here in a different body, in a different form. But I believe that life just regenerates itself.
Mm-hmm.
Over and over again. And depending on how you live is how you come back. Because no one escapes anything in this thing. And I think that many of us know that by now. By looking at your life, you sitting up here thinking, I wonder why all these bad things happen to me. Why? Because it's probably from another life. But don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as it needs to change. Something in me, I need to change. Mm-hmm. You have to make the changes. But that many of us are afraid. And the one thing that I realized in my life is this. So many people are afraid to die. They could be living the most miserable lives in the world, Their body could be rattled with sickness and disease. They could smell like dry rot. And yet they are clinging because they are so afraid to leave. Because they think they are no more. This flame of flesh won't be no more but a memory. But you will relive again. And I'm hoping and believing that every reincarnation that I have, just a little bit of the truth will be revealed of who my former self was. Mm-hmm. So I won't make the same mistakes. Here a little, there a little. Is there anything else we need to talk about? I just told you, I felt like I had to get this off of me. I hope in some way you can see what I'm saying, how the generations, how Kimberly and how all of this craziness, that even though we look at these people, even down to Charlemagne, we look at them and no, I don't think they're evenly matched. Do you?
No.
If you had a pure daughter, you raised her, she's good, she's a virgin. She's a virgin. She's everything. You know she's good. A good student. She's a eye doctor. She's 28 years old. She's starting out. Beautiful. And she brings home this man to your door. And he got 3 children. 3 children. He's been married once. And he doesn't have a college degree. But he's a hard worker. He even takes care of his kids. But he's 6 years older than your daughter. She loves him. Do you want that for your child? Do you?
No.
They're not balanced. And I know Kylie is probably wanting that youth again, wanting to feel alive and wanting to feel validated. But you got 2 mixed kids and you're not married. And you're dating a man that doesn't have no kids at all and never been married. And you done live with men and he may have lived with women, but he ain't getting married. He don't know what that's like. And now you coming in and now, I mean, you're putting me in a position that I got to be grandparents to them. Mm-hmm. What if I don't want to? What if I want my own? At 20 something years old, I could see it if you was 40, even your late 30s. But at 20, where were you, little girl? Where is your youth? Where are you? What have you been exposed to? Why do you have a life of a 40-year-old and you're 28 years old? Mm-hmm. And my son is 29, my daughter's 28. Well, you know what I mean. Why would I want that 35 or 32-year-old son for my daughter? In retrospect, I can't do nothing about it. The only thing I could do is I hope they make it. Mm-hmm. That's all I got, because the odds are stacked against them already. And that's a truth.
Yeah.
Whether I want to look at it, she's nice. Nobody said she wasn't nice. What niceness got to do with it? Mm-hmm. She loves him. What love got to do with it? Those are emotions. It's time. It's the life that she's got to spend to another man that she's married to because she got kids by him. In other words, she tied for life. Mm-hmm. He's got first priority because you don't have no children. Right. What if her children are get a little darker and your child is like lily light? Mm-hmm. What about that? What if they have a problem with it? What if your children have a problem with it, but they don't share it with you?
Right.
We don't know. So I think we have to, same thing with Kim. Mm-hmm. They're going through hell. Should Kanye still have the rights to see his children? Absolutely. But when you're operating they're in hell. All of these couples. I think Zanzea, I think they have a chance. They do look like an unlikely couple. Do you think?
Yes.
But they have more things in common.
Mm-hmm.
They both act,
Yes.
right? What else? They both have, neither one of them been married.
Mm-hmm.
They have no children. They have careers. They have money. They have families that love them.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Many of us should look at that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say, baby clone?
No, I don't think so.
Well, this is me. I don't know. Is there anything of the news? Because I said to baby clone, I don't even know what to talk about in news. But all I could talk about is these relationships.
Yeah, we covered everybody we wanted to talk
All
about.
these relationships and how broken they are. Not Zendaya, because out of their relationship, even though then, see, this is a problem because Zendaya's sister, who's 51 years old, saying they are unlikely couple. But just because you unlikely don't mean you can't. They got more things going for them than they have against them.
Mm-hmm.
And Kylie and Charlamagne, more things going against them than for them.
Yeah.
And Kim and Kanye, they have to find the balance.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If they could do that, they'll find, if they start loving them kids like they love themselves, they wouldn't do half the things they do. When Kanye sit back and write into his right mind for 15 minutes, he's going to realize I should never put my daughter on that. That's not her fight. She ought not know what that is. But that's just letting you know the maturity of the mind and what these children, that these rich kids are exposed to.
Yes.
They live lives that you and I can only dream of. Well, I can't even comprehend. Because I wouldn't even know what it's like to go to some Bora Bora, I don't know, some fancy place because we got a pandemic and we could just get on a plane and board and I'm on a private island with people that didn't have it and we can all have fun. I have no idea what that's like. I have to stay in the trenches and stay in the house. I don't know that life.
Yes.
And not only that, they don't even have to worry. They got their own private jet. She can take half of her family and take a private jet and say they'll be back on Wednesday. Be ready. I don't know what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's like. But do I crave it? No. Because I know what it's like to see the future. I know what it's like to see their lives and to see that all of those people, all of them, every last one of the Jenners, they seek love. They want to be loved. They want somebody to love them for them. They just want to be loved. From Kimberly, not as a sex symbol, not because of this, but because love me for me. And that's how it gets. You could have everything you need, but without love, it seems a little bit empty. Mm-hmm. You could wake up every day and just live the time of your life, but one day it just seems a little empty. You could have mastered the world and yet have no one to share it with. It's just a little bit empty. And the older you get and the closer you get in age to the one step of the grave, it becomes daunting to think that you could drop dead and stay dead in your house for a week. Mm-hmm. And nobody know.
Yeah.
So, or you sick and nobody's there. These are the things that a lot of people start thinking about when they old, when you done had the best of you gone. Mm-hmm. This is the best of you. You should think about what can I do for the best of me, for the best of me now, and grow old with someone that's willing to be there for the rough times. Because it is going to be rough times. And out of that, with all the deaths, with Pam, with Angie, had a beautiful funeral. She's gone. A Roberta Flack, gone. And one day we'll be gone. Mm-hmm. And everything about us will become nothing, but we never existed. But we will be back again in another reality because that's just the way it is. You don't have to believe these things. That's okay with me. But I do tell you the truth about we have to change our frequency. We have to start looking at things a little bit more closer and stop being so quick to judge. Like I said, the prime example with Kanye and the retardation, that was normal. That was normal. You call somebody retarded or whatever, it was not considered what would be offensive if you said somebody was flicked. Now that's a one. If you said they flicked it, that was an offense. But retarded, no, because they even call it retardation. Is that true about her son? In my heart, I believe that there is something wrong with her son. But I like to think of it as a special need.
Yeah.
That's comfortable for me. That's what I think about Beyonce. And it comes off as she's ashamed. I think Baby Crone said it best when she said, not the great Beyonce. It's in that DNA. What do you mean? Hypertension. It's a killer. But she had the best doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And she was able to save both of them. And somebody told me this recently, and I don't know how true it is, and this is the last I'm going to say, is they said that they was even concerned about Rumi. Now I'm dumbfounded because they said they think Rumi is a little off.
Oh.
She's just not to the point where her brother. Now, everything I say is what other people say because I didn't read on them. But this is what I heard. And I said, you could be right. Because one of them could show it and the other one may have it mental. We don't know, but the truth would be revealed. But if you was the great Beyonce, would you want the world to know that you had a baby and it was special? What do you think?
No, I would not.
And they said that a lot of white women that had mixed kids, they put their sons out there so you could see their sons. But they may not put them in a whole lot of things, but they want you to see the cuteness of their son.
Okay.
Doesn't Kimberly shows her boys.
Yeah.
She shows them and they show their children. You just may not see them in too much in sports and stuff like that.
Yes.
They show them, but this is a kid that has never been seen by the likes of normal people.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, it makes me wonder. I don't have to wonder. It makes me believe that maybe he has special needs. And if that is the name, I don't think that's so harsh. Do you?
No, not at
And
all.
I hope that she can come to herself. And you all may say it's not about business. When you're paying tickets to see her, when you support her, when you call her our queen, then that queen has to be open to share with us.
Yes.
Because somebody might want to pray for a son. You don't know. Prayer changed things. So you don't know. But by keeping it a secret, it makes it look like they are ashamed. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
Whether or not her son has special needs or not, I have no idea. It just appeared to be. It wouldn't be shocked if it came out later. It appeared to be. Or maybe they'll have a cure and they'll be able to fix it. I don't know. But it is a shame that it could be you hide away your son. And I do believe it could be that he could have something where being around a lot of people could set him off too.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that as well. But with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this. I just ranted. Did I make sense, Baby Crone?
Yes.
I just talked about couples and I talked about how it's affecting us and how we need to regroup and how we need to see things all over again. I hope you enjoyed my rant about what I feel inside. And these are the things that my ancestors speak to me in deep private.
Mm-hmm.
And that the world needs to know and that the world needs to wake up. And with that being said, we love you. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this. I hope you do. This is just food for thought. Everything I say is allegedly.
Yes.
But time heals and proves all things.
Mhm.
And with that being said, we love you. Please, well, this is live. It
Yeah.
won't be live after I cut it out. I mean, after we go off, and it won't be live. It'll just be another video. But if you like this video and you thought it was a good video, play it for us. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up because we need it. If you like this video, please, and you haven't subscribed, if you just give me one more, we'll be 2,000.
Yeah.
We've been down here in these trenches for 2 years. I'm sorry.
3.
You let me get away with that.
3 years.
3 years. 3 years you let me be here. I have been here working, and I love every minute of it. Sometimes it's so heavy, but I love it. And I love that you joined us. And whoever see it, be blessed and be whole. And with that, you know what we say. Sunflowers!